Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 80. First and foremost, I want to wish everybody out there who celebrates Hanukkah a happy Hanukkah. I hope that you all have a fantastic holiday. And for those of you who celebrate Christmas, well, happy Christmas Eve. If you're Italian, you know tomorrow is the big day for us. Italians always have the big bash on Christmas Eve. That's when the family all gets together. Hilarity ensues, nonsense is sure to follow, and it is always a good time. Christmas is one of my favorite times of the year, and especially this year considering Carrie is healthy and we have no unneeded stress, right? We can just focus on the holidays, we can focus on enjoying our families, we can, focus on the things that really matter, as opposed to, with the looming thought of sickness hanging over your head. So it's definitely nice to be out from underneath that shadow. Certainly nice to be here with all of you. I'm glad all of us wayward folks found each other, because I'll tell you what, as much as this story is distressing, as much as this story makes me feel dirty after reporting on it and researching it and reading it, I love being here with you and sharing this news with you, and then receiving the emails from you, and just interacting with all you folks out there. It's been a real wild ride and an incredible journey for me, an incredible learning experience for me as well. And going into the year 2020, you know what the year is. We know that that's the year that the predators turn into the prey, right? But besides that, going into the year 2020, I look forward to where we're going to go with this. I look forward to how much more we're going to build. I look forward to really putting the screws to these sick sons of bitches. And with that, we have one article tonight, folks. Just one tonight. Pretty slow night in the news. So we're going to just rock with the one article from NBC. And again, it's disturbing. It's disturbing how many girls have been affected by this, how many ladies have been affected by this. 2 more women have come forward to sue Jeffrey Epstein's estate, saying that he allegedly sexually assaulted them and trafficked them. This article is from NBC News. The author of the article is Tim Stello, and it was penned on December 23rd at 8:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So not too long ago. All right, let's hop right into this article, shall we? 2 more women have sued the estate of accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, alleging that as minors they were sexually assaulted by the financier, pedophile, and others. Again, the same pattern from these girls and from these ladies and others. I always, I want to focus on that and others. Who are others? We need to know who the others are. That's the only way we could put them on blast, and these judges in these cases like to play games and keep things sealed. Well, I think that maybe the judges have to hear from us as well, the justice system. If they don't unseal these documents and they don't let these girls get the justice that they deserve, I'm telling you folks, I don't know. These people, I don't know how they could keep their jobs. I honestly don't know how any of these people can keep their jobs. Now, we all know what went on in the state of Florida. That was a complete and utter, an absolute joke, the way that they went about that, the way the prosecutors went about that. And then the federal prosecutor swooped in, and we know what happened there as well. So I have no confidence that Bill Barr is going to be the guy to step up and clean this all up. Remember where Bill Barr comes from, all right? Let's remember. Let's remember about all that stuff. The women allege that Epstein, who died by suicide, allegedly, in August while in federal custody, abused them decades ago in New York City and South Carolina, according to a complaint filed in the Southern District of New York. Again, why are all these cases filed just in the Southern District of New York as well? I don't really trust that office. That used to be an office of valor. That was an office where they did real police work. They stopped a lot of bad things happening in New York City, and they were responsible for taking down the mafia for the most part. But now it is like a politically motivated just joke over there. It's like Tammany Hall is running the show. They need to get their act together, and having Maureen Comey involved is really not helping anybody. The two suits are among 5 that lawyer Lisa Bloom, we know how I feel about her. But again, I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt if she's going to do the right thing in these cases. I mean, these girls need someone to help them, right? If Lisa Bloom is going to be that person, it might not be the hero that we want, but it might be the hero that these girls need. So I'll reserve my scathing destruction of Lisa Bloom until it's warranted again. If you want to hear me destroy her, go back and listen to the Closer Look Lisa Bloom episode. 9 other women sued Epstein earlier this month, saying he had sexually battered, assaulted, and abused them at his estates in New York City, Palm Beach, Florida, New Mexico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. They forgot Zorro Ranch. See what I mean about Zorro Ranch, folks? You guys get it? I know you folks get it for sure. You're here every day with me. You're doing the same research, and in some cases, probably more research than I'm doing. I mean, some of you are really into this case, and that's what we need. That is exactly what we need. But how dare they not add the Zorro Ranch? So, Virginia Roberts, nothing ever happened there, or, the 9 other women, nothing ever happened there with them. Come on. A lawyer representing other women who have said they were abused said last month that dozens of cases could be filed against the pedophile's estate. I'm not calling him a disgraced financier. What does that mean? That can mean anything. Disgraced financier. He was involved in a Ponzi scheme. He was disgraced. Nope. Let's slap him with the title he deserves. The worst title you could possibly have. You're a pedophile. Pedophile. Epstein, 66, was arrested July 6th on accusations of trafficking and abusing dozens of girls in the early 2000s. He pleaded not guilty and died in custody at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. Well, at least they didn't say he committed suicide. Died in custody. That's fair. He pleaded guilty in 2008 to procuring a person younger than 18 for prostitution and felony solicitation of prostitution. He served a 13-month sentence in a Florida county jail and was granted a federal non-prosecution agreement. Boy, I wonder if Gaspipe Casso would be afforded that same luxury. Or how about Drita Devanzo and her husband, who were just arrested for guns and drugs? You think they're going to be afforded any sort of sweetheart deal? I have a sneaking suspicion that they won't be. And they shouldn't be, by the way, all right? But my point is this. What Jeffrey Epstein did is more heinous than any of this stuff. All of these girls. I mean, we're talking, there's going to be at least 100 when all's said and done. And remember, it's not just Virginia Roberts. She's just the one that is at the forefront right now, right? She's the one that came out and said, look, I had sex with Prince Andrew, Bill Richardson, et cetera, et cetera. So, of course, she's going to get a bulk of the publicity, of the notoriety, of the media attention, because she's the one in the forefront. She's the one that's standing tall saying, my name is not Jane Doe. My name is Virginia Roberts, and you're going to hear me. You're finally, you know what? Not only are you going to hear me, this time you're going to listen to me. And these other girls, some of them might not have found their voice yet. Some of them still might be scared. Some of them might have had such a traumatic life. Imagine being 14, 15, and this 60-year-old guy, 50-year-old guy, whatever it was, with all this money, promises you the world, and then brings you into his world, and you become a trafficking victim. I mean, come on, let's be real. Talk about the trauma of walking in and seeing Alan Dershowitz in his tighty whities. Are you kidding me right now? A lawyer representing Epstein's estate, Bennett Moskowitz, did not immediately respond to a request for comment on Monday. At a court hearing last month, he told a judge he was working to assemble a complete picture of Epstein's finances. Good luck with that, buddy. I hope you have about 50 forensic accountants with you, because you're going to be tracking that money all over the place. This dude had ties to Saudi Arabia. This dude had ties to Europe. He had ties to Eastern Europe. And as far as the Saudi Arabian ties go, I would check first with bin Talal. I don't have any evidence that directly connects those two together besides bin Talal's, involvement with Citigroup and whatnot. But where there's smoke, there is fire, and I'm almost willing to bet that bin Talal and Jeffrey Epstein have crossed paths more than once. It is perhaps the most complex estate I'm aware of, Moskowitz said. In court documents, one of the women identified as Jane Doe 3 said she was 15 when she met Epstein at a casting call for a modeling agency in 1990 in New York City. Again, the modeling agencies. All of these sick, depraved bastards have the same MO. And then they group up together and they're like this, a whole entire conglomerate of complete and utter disgustingness. Epstein and Brunel and these other knuckleheads that work in these modeling agencies that think it's okay to abuse these little kids and give them promises of you're going to be a Victoria's Secret model, you're going to be this, that, or the other thing. It offends my sensibilities. It makes me feel disgusting, and I want to punch them all directly in the face repeatedly. The agency's president sent the teen to a residential address on the Upper East Side, where Epstein allegedly portrayed himself as a fashion photographer and told her to undress, the suit states. He is accused of photographing her naked and assaulting her, according to the documents. Wow. This is first time we're hearing this, folks. The first time we're hearing that he used that MO as a photographer. But I guess that was, when he was first getting into the industry, before he was a bigwig, right? Before he had all the dough, et cetera, before he was set up with whoever his handlers were. Another woman, identified as Jane Doe 4, said she was 13 when Epstein hired her to work as a babysitter at his vacation rental in Hilton Head, South Carolina in 1984. The woman said there were no children at the home. She said that she took alcohol and drugs from Epstein and that he raped her, the documents say. Jesus. Good God. See, we'll have to get more information about all of this stuff, of course, right? Like I always say, we have to be cautious. We have to be cautious about, people trying to get involved in this case that really weren't involved. But with the scope and with how large Jeffrey Epstein's network was, I tend to believe everybody that comes forward until there's a reason not to believe them at this point. Right? This isn't a case like where there's gray area. This isn't just a he said, she said. There is a ton of evidence. A ton of evidence. And I'm not a believe all women guy. I'm not a believe all men guy. I'm not a believe all anyone guy. I'm a believe the evidence guy. All right? I go where the evidence leads me, and that's it. And if it's a place where my confirmation bias doesn't want me to go, I don't care at this point. I do not care if it's uncomfortable. The fact of the matter is this. This case is too important to worry about any sort of nonsense. This case is way too important for that. And it's too important to let disinformation affect it in any way. The documents allege that the pattern of abuse and assault continued for several years when Epstein visited the area during the summer. The documents allege that Epstein later brought Jane Doe 4 to New York several times to essentially offer her up as fresh meat to wealthy men at intimate gatherings. Okay, can we get some names? We're going to need some names, obviously, right? We can't just use wealthy men at intimate gatherings. That's way too vague. We need to know who. We need to know who needs to catch the smoke, right? Another man, who is not identified in the documents, allegedly slapped and raped her. The suit, which is seeking damages of $100 million, alleges that the women suffered extreme emotional trauma after the alleged assaults. Yeah, you think? You think that they suffered trauma? I mean, really? At the hand, if what they're stating truly occurred, if what they said happened to them, of course they're suffering from trauma. I mean, really? Wealthy friends? I don't even know what to say about all of that. The upper crust of this country is absolutely, positively, and utterly just morally bankrupt. I mean, they're just morally bankrupt. They truly don't care. All they care about is gaining more wealth and consolidating power. Meanwhile, you and I, we're busy here trying to navigate the whole system that they created. They don't even play by the rules that they created. They threw the rule book out, but they made sure that all of us had one still. And I've had enough of it, folks. I have had enough of people that deserve justice not getting it. And I have had enough of these people who just think that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. When's enough enough? When is enough enough? If this isn't the story that launches you into orbit and gets you so aggravated and pissed off, then I honestly do not know what will. If this story doesn't just shine a light on these sick, corrupt cockroaches, then I do not know what will. It's time to ante up, folks. It's time to stand up. Do you want to be a subject to these people? Or do you want to stand up as a citizen and say, look, no more. Enough is enough. I know it's comfortable for me to ignore this and for me not, but enough is enough. It has to end at some point. We have to get to a place where the people that we're electing are not engaging in behavior such as this. Look, we all expect a little grifting. We all expect them to steal a little bit. We all expect them to enrich themselves. That's part of the game. That's the hustle. That's why these cats are going into these offices for 30, 40 years, going in there with $100,000 net worth and coming out worth 40, 50, 60 million. Look, we get it. All right. We get it. Hustle. Do your thing. Steal your money. We know that's going to happen with you scumbags. All right. Fine. And people will even suck it up and turn the other cheek with your endless wars. It's not happening here, right? Nobody in America is getting their family drone striked by a crazed lunatic president like Obama or Bush or, Trump even. I mean, do you realize that President Obama okayed a drone strike on an American citizen without due process? I don't even care if the guy's a terrorist or not. Due process. If you're an American citizen, you deserve due process. Meanwhile, these people do whatever they want, these people in power, these presidents, and, Harry Carey. But you and I, forget it. Remember that rule book I was just talking about? Make sure you open it up and you read it, because if you don't dance to their tune, you don't pay your taxes, you don't do your share, well, guess what? You're going to end up in prison. And I don't mean the stockade where you have all sorts of luxuries. I don't mean prison release program, my friends. I mean mainline, on the yard, you better choose a car because it's about to go down type prison shit, all right? And that's the difference between them and us. And I'm done with it. I'm sick of it. I've had enough. I'm making my stand right here on an everyday basis, 150-something episodes deep. This is where I choose to make my stand, all right? Come home with your shield or come home on it type shit, because I'm done. I am done. I will never turn the other cheek to their corruption ever again. Ever again. And as long as I have a platform of some sort, I will keep spreading what I have to say as far and wide as I possibly can send it, because there are a bunch of people that feel just like me, obviously. All of you out there who are pissed off, welcome to the party, because, what's the recourse for these girls? Who do they go to? Who can they go to help them? Who is going to help them? Not the media, not the feds, not the local police. So I guess it's on us, right? I guess it's on us to stand up and cause a holy hell and just be loud and yap and go crazy about it and make sure that they cover this story, because that's all we can do. We can only do what we have the power to do. And every single day, that is what we try to accomplish on this podcast. All right, everybody. Like I said, happy Hanukkah if you're celebrating Hanukkah. Happy Christmas Eve if that's your thing. Christmas Eve, or Christmas Eve, I guess, in some parts of the world. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow with the whole thing all over again. I don't think we're going to do an evolution episode tomorrow. I haven't made my mind up yet. I think for Christmas Eve, we're just going to probably have the daily drop and the morning update. And then we'll get right back to it on Christmas Day, 3 episodes a day, as always. All right, everybody. Enjoy your night. I will talk to you in the morning.